we would be talking about the size of a structure, how to compute it. Okay, if your structure has similar data types, if it is integer all along, the size is very simple. It's just 4 plus 4 plus 4, which is 12. If you have the short, it's all of them, it's very simple. It's 2 plus 2 plus 2, right? 6. But if you have a data types that are different, okay, there are several rules to follow. One is the size depends, is always multiple of the maximum. Here it is integer int, which is bigger than the char and the short. So this size will be a multiple of 4. Okay, we'll explain that soon. It will be a multiple of 4. If you have a double, that will be a multiple of doubles. Okay, if you have a float, it will be a multiple of a float, the total size. Okay, we don't know how big it is, but it will be a multiple of integer in this case, right? And the other rule is integer members always, here the address is, let's say I've taken a simple trivial version. The address, let's say 0 1 2 3 4, address 4, address 8, address 12, address 16. So if you have an integer member, just like we have here, this member integer will always start at multiple of 4. For example, 0, 4, 8, 12. It's always on the word boundary. 16. This is where the integer member will be allocated. All right. It doesn't matter where it is in the system. It has to be a multiple of 4. If you have a short, it will be a multiple of 2. All right. It will be a multiple of 2. That's where the member will be created. All right. It won't create at random places like here. It won't create a short member at location 1 because it's not a multiple of 2. If you have double, it will always be a multiple of 8. Okay, 0, 8, 16. So these two rules follow to where exactly the member will be allocated. All right. So in this case, if you take here, so you have integer. So we know, let's take the PowerPoint, right? Let's take the PowerPoint. Let's close it. So I'll just keep it here. Oh. All right. So here, if you have, because we have an integer, it will be a multiple of integer. That's one rule, right? Because that's the biggest. So let's have an integer first, which is m1, right? Let's go to the PowerPoint. And then we have a char, right? So it will automatically create another int. So we have the another int. Now we'll try to compact, put a char next to it. Because char is okay because it can be created anywhere else. So we have, let's say, pretend this is 4, and obviously this will be 8. The next will be a 9, right? But short will not start here. Short has to be multiple of 2. The short member will be here. So this, my friend, will be a gap. So there will be a gap here. All right. So these two rules you have to follow to actually see the size of a structure. All right. Let's go ahead and see what else we have here. So that's what I meant. It's the size of a structure is generally the multiple of the largest element. In our case, we have the multiple of the multiple, right? So that is the key. In our example that we did, we have an integer, which is the maximum. So it's a multiple. So we have 2 integers, right? So, and if you were to convert this, let's see if we have another example here. This is what I said. This slide actually describes this Excel sheet. All right, so I'll skip it. We went through this, right? Okay, here it's very simple. I mean short is, it's a multiple of a short here. Maximum is 2, and so the size is 4. All right, here is a good example. Not really. Let's take this example. Char, it has an array of 5 elements and an integer. Okay, let's take that example. Maybe we can go ahead and do here. So we have an array of 5 elements which are char, right? And we have an integer. We have 2 things, right? So array of 5 char, if you take this is the memory location, right? So we have array, this is entire thing is taken over by the char, right? Let's see if I can merge it. Is there any way merge it? No, there's a way to merge it. Okay, so this is all char, right? Char, right? Now 5, then we have what do we have? We have an integer m2, right? M2, obviously we cannot create here because you see it's integer that cannot start here. So you have, my friend, a lot of gaps here. It's a gap. Maybe I should not do that. The next integer will be here. Integer up to 4 bytes, right? We said 4 bytes. So let's may put the yellow color. So that's the integer. So here we have 3 bytes which are gaps. Those 3 gaps are gap. All right. Or maybe a different. Can they put a different? Okay, it's a gap here. Gap. 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 So this is how the members are created all along the word boundaries or short boundaries or double boundaries. All right. We can even go ahead and try it. Okay. Let's see if I have another example here. Short here. Okay, there you go. So if you go back to the Excel sheet with this example, the total bytes allocated here is 12, right? It's 12. So that's what the PowerPoint says. The size is 12, and you have where exactly the addresses start. I suggest you go ahead and see the difference in addresses. You will see the gap of 3 bytes. So you have to go ahead and play with that. All right. Let's take another example. Array of 5 elements and a short. Go back to this guy. Same thing. Array of 5 chars, right? So what do we have? Char. I'll go ahead and put a char all along. Char, right? All these are chars. Right, and then we have a short, right, followed by a short member. So obviously short will not be created here. A short will be created in these 2 bytes, right? It's 2 bytes. So short and a short. So if you just go ahead and fill it up. So now this structure has 5 plus 6 plus 2, which is 8 bytes, right? So this is a gap. So that is what this PowerPoint says. The next one is 8. You see that? And again, you go ahead and figure out where the gap is. Actually, it's a very good research to do it. All right. Then how do you verify the gap? I've written a program to print the addresses. Okay, print the addresses. You can confirm that there are gaps in these things. So to summarize the gap and the paddings, and this video I hope will clarify your questions and answers. If you have any questions, please send me an email. Thank you. Bye.